Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by speech pathologist, entrepreneur, and mom. Her latest project is helping empowering makers with one part education, one part community, and one part retailer as the company, Treppie. We welcome the founder of Treppie, Jennifer Andrews.
Thanks for having me.
Jennifer, let's go beyond the mic. You went to Illinois getting your master's in speech and language pathology. How did helping others help them find their voice help you with Treppie?
That's a good question. So I think it took me a long time to actually find my own voice. So I think in creating this, which came out of nowhere for me, to be honest, because I had a perfectly great career that I loved. And I think in creating this, I have been finding my own voice as I'm going through this. So I'm doing this simultaneously as I'm helping other girls. I saw a need to reach in and help and support in ways that I could, but I'm challenged by them just as much as I'm challenging them. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration for Treppie?
I don't know if I had an inspiration because of how it came about.
How did it come about?
I had a student that I was seeing for therapy, and she gifted me a bag that she handmade. And I was just blown away by the fact that a 9-year-old could do that. I kind of looked at her and was like, we should sell these. You got to sell these. And she didn't really know how or where. And being in the field I was and being a mom, and I knew a bunch of other girls that age. And so I started asking around if other girls had things they wanted to sell. I found a few. I kind of thought I'd have like a holiday party at my house where I could invite some friends and these girls could showcase their things and people could buy them. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And all of a sudden I had too many girls that wanted to participate and I didn't have the space for it. So we moved to a nearby restaurant, and the day of the event, the line was out the door to get in. And I just knew, oh my gosh, there's something here. And I was really enjoying working with the girls because I love working with kids. And I decided to have another market and kind of put a name to it and kind of make it a little more business-like. And then had a class before the live market for the girls to talk about their products and to see what, questions they had about anything with the business. And it just it kept growing and changing and morphing. And then COVID happened and we couldn't do live markets. And I realized that I didn't want to stop. And the only way to reach these girls outside of a Denver area was to build something online for them.
Jennifer, how did helping that student help your soul?
Oh my gosh, just to be able to give somebody confidence in themselves. That was it. I can remember seeing the glow on my first student's face when they could, do something that came through the door earlier and couldn't do and left and they could do, right? Their soul, their confidence level, their excitement just excited me, right? And all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, this is way better than anything I could ever buy or earn for myself. Just it really was such an early realization that I felt so good in helping them. It gave me empowerment, right? And me confidence. So it was twofold, right? I met what they showed up with and realized it pretty young.
With most of your artisans on your site from 9 to 25 years old, how does Treppie help with holes in the creator workflow?
Yeah. So, just like any entrepreneur, there's always holes in everything we do. So what we try to work with them on are anything within the realm of sales, marketing, pictures, product descriptions. We work with them on all these facets of the business, and they think they've got a pretty good handle until, I pose something to them that maybe they haven't thought of, right? So we're just there to kind of be a little bit of a mirror and say, hey, have you thought about this for this product? How could we redesign this? How could we make this better? This product isn't selling, but this one is. What can we do with that product that's not selling to change it up, right? And make shoppers see it differently. Do we need to lower the cost? Do we need to change the colors? Do we need to retake pictures? I have girls, that picture taking, right? Images, the visual images of the products are so important. just these little tweaks that can be done that doesn't take a master's degree, doesn't take, it's not neuroscience. It's just basic, what do you want to see as a shopper? And then let's apply it to what you're putting out there, right? Just little suggestions to nudge them along the way to constantly make them rethink and revisit. That's what we're there for.
Where did you come up with the name?
So I will say that the best part of it is I knew to hire somebody who could do the job. How's that? That is something I worked on for, 9 months to a year and could not come up with it, and hired somebody much better at that than myself, who is very creative, gave me a bunch of options. And the thing about me is I'm decisive. I know what I like. I know what hits the mark. I'm able to choose and not look back. And so, it was a collaborative experience for sure. That triangulation of finding a name, being able to trademark it, and finding a website that's available, a website like a .com address, that triangulation was one of the most difficult processes I had gone through early on in entrepreneurship.
Jennifer Andrews from Treppie joins us beyond the mic. It's time for the Rocky Nate. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind, Jennifer. There is no pressure.
Okay, I love it.
What was the first thing you bought from a Treppie?
A bag, like a makeup pouch.
In which way are you the most creative?
That I can identify with someone's heart center and see what they can produce.
What is your favorite and least favorite camping activity?
Can I say camping and camping? Like, that's my answer.
Well, I had to bring up Camp Out for Kids.
That's different. Going to camp is different than camping. The present progressive ing there. I'm going to speech pathology you. But I love Camp Out for Kids is near and dear to my heart. I'm still involved. My brother started the charity, and we raise money to send kids to summer camp that don't have the advantage of going normally.
And while we're talking about it, where can people find out more information about Camp Out for Kids?
Campoutforkids.org would probably be the best place.
How did you meet your husband, Sean, who spells it completely wrong? And when did you know he was the one?
Oh, I love this question. Is it okay to say we met in a bar? It was 1997. We met in a bar, and I didn't want to give him my phone number because we met in a bar. So I didn't have any background on him. And we found one person we had in common. We weren't from the same state, didn't go to the same school, nothing. And I, for safety purposes, made him come up with one person we had in common, and we found that one person in a conversation, and it had been a good friend of mine in high school. So, and kind of the rest is history. He made me laugh. That was it. I'm a sucker. If you can make me laugh, man, I'm kind of yours.
What's your favorite color?
Teal.
How about the best place in Colorado for dinner?
Cuba Cafe and Bar. So fun, great patio, amazing drinks, great food.
Jennifer, what's standing in between you and your biggest dream?
My own fear of failing.
Why?
Right? Well, I think because it's just about me driving it, right? I know I can work with a kid and get the best out of that kid, right? It's about that kid. So I know I can work with the kid and see what they need and give it to them. But sometimes I don't know what I need. And I've had to learn that as an entrepreneur, to kind of step back and slow down and take the time to really think about how it's going to make me feel to go through a specific part of a process. How do I want to work something out? What kind of relationship do I want with a vendor? And so that's the fear of failing at this, I guess early on, was more consuming than it is now. I feel like every time I think I have to learn something new, there's a little bit of panic that sets in, because this is, right, I'm science-based. This has nothing to do with science. This is business. I never took a business class. That's my husband's venue. That's my brother's venue. I don't know anything. So I'm swimming in a pool of everything I don't know, right? So I have to go and learn it. And so I think it's always a little bit of fear that I'm not gonna get it, or I'm not gonna figure it out, but I keep proving myself wrong with that, and I keep proving to myself that I can. So I have enough of that experience now in the last 5 years that now I'm trusting myself that I can do it.
What's one thing you do that you do better than anyone else?
Probably read intention.
If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app. It's time for the back half with Jennifer Andrews, Beyond the Mic. She is the founder of Treppie. Jennifer, what's the biggest challenge you are facing now, and how has your resiliency been tested recently?
The biggest challenge I'm facing is figuring out, kind of this funding world, right? Seed money and family offices and VC backed and private equity, and learning all those terms and what they mean and when to go for what. That is a real, just something very much out of my comfort zone. I have great people surrounding me that know a lot more than I do about it. So I'm constantly asking questions. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I just want to learn. I need to know because I need to move this business forward. I want these girls to grow. I want to bring on more girls. I need to get the word out. So I have this motivation to do it. But I think that's been my biggest challenge, is understanding it, knowing when to go for it and how.
How has the mentorship of these young entrepreneurs helped them in the future?
Well, I think overall it just not only gives them knowledge, but kind of what I was speaking to before in my own journey with this, in that I think that it's teaching them that even if they're scared, dive in, do it, and then you're not scared anymore because you've done it. So, I think that it's going to grow confidence. This confidence that they're going to obtain from this experience is going to stick with them. They're going to have an I can do this kind of belief in themselves. They're going to be able to think back, during college, after college, and say, I've started my own business. I can do this again. I know how to do this, right? I understand what cost versus, revenue is, and profit margin, and product descriptions, and how to take best images. And they're going to have this in their back pocket to pull out one day when they need it.
The world is not a perfect utopia of happiness. How do you help these creators deal with rejection?
Yeah.
I mean, you have people that go, man, I don't like that. Or, I want a different color.
Oh, yeah.
How do you help them when, their hearts are so young and they probably don't have to face rejection often?
That is a hard world. That's reality, right? I think it's good experience, right, to have something like that happen, and to have to, with the support of mentorship, right, from Treppie, to work your way through it. There's lots of things that happen in e-commerce, and just to know that they've got someone that has their back, I think gives them the confidence to be okay with mistakes, right? This is the platform to make the mistakes on, right? They get things up, we check it over, we say, hey, you need to modify this, you need to do this, we're going to work with you on that. So right off the bat, we're already shifting and having them change things, right? They're not going to produce and it's going to be perfect right away. So we're already working with them on modifications, and it's not a criticism. It's more just something to, we always use the word modify, right? Versus I don't like. We don't have a review system up yet. And I'm conflicted on whether to put that up for kids, because it's a kid. It's right. Well, first off, their products are sensational, but regardless, it is a child. And so what I've started to do is use Treppies to review other Treppies, because they're in their own shoes, right? Like they understand what's coming at them. So we're sending product from one girl to the next to make video content about that product and unpackaging, describing what they like about the object. And then we're posting it and using it for our Google ads and our Meta ads. And that to me is more helpful than getting a review of I didn't like the color and I didn't like this and I didn't like, it's that stuff we're already working with them on. When someone, if someone doesn't like their product, we're always going to make it right. I think that's a life lesson. I love working with the girls with that, but I think having the mentorship from Treppie with them during that process will help them understand that it's not a critique on them as a person. It's business, and this is life, and we can fix anything.
Jennifer, who was your first mentor, and how did they help you?
Oh, man. Who is my first mentor? I have to give credit to my mom. My mom had to, while raising 2 kids, go back and get a master's degree, support a family, work all day, come back, make dinner, help with homework, do the laundry, right? That, me being able to watch her work that hard, I think laid the foundation for who I became. I'm a pretty hard worker. So that was my first mentor.
So your own challenges growing up guided you to helping others today.
For sure. Don't they all? Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, this comes full circle. Why am I working with girls and trying to empower them? Well, really, isn't it tapping into my 7-year-old self and empowering her, right? It's kind of this full circle of trying to, no childhood is perfect, no matter how hard your parents work. And, every human is flawed. And I'm making mistakes as a parent. I hope they're going to sit on someone's couch and rat me out someday and try to work through that, right? We're all just trying to do our best. And I think that understanding yourself as a child from an adult perspective, and then how can you better a child's life having gone through that already, that to me, I'm coming full circle myself.
Jennifer, have you ever had a blessing in disguise, and what was it?
Oh gosh, yes. Even just as recently as choosing the people that I'm working with, right? I hire out a lot, right? I hire my financial team. I hire my PR person. I hire social media. I hire, our graphic designers, our legal team. And there's been a lot of missteps, right? And I've had to learn. I've had to really make mistakes, right? And be like, that wasn't the right path. And those mistakes have made me trust myself, right? I know, right? I'm pretty intuitive, and I know what's best for me. And sometimes when I hadn't listened to it, usually I start to go down the wrong path, and then darn it, need to back up and go back down that other path I thought, might have been a different option.
How did educating at-risk kids with business ownership courses help your soul?
Me giving whatever I can to them, knowing that I'm leaving, someday I'll leave this earth having grown something bigger than myself, right? And giving someone else confidence to do something better than me, that to me grows my soul every day.
As technology and the global economy evolves, what are the most important things that need to evolve in your business to make Treppie better?
Great question. So I need to stay, up on the latest e-commerce platforms. I'm constantly, constantly on shopping platforms, not just because I, want to shop per se, but just I've got to be on how they're presenting, right? How are they presenting not just their platform, but their products, right? Like the newest thing that I'm seeing is there's video embedded in all these emails. There's video embedded on their sites. It's not just a photo, right? So now everything's moving towards showing the actual product, right? So let's say it would be a makeup pouch that one of the girls would make, right? While doing a little video of it and opening it up and showing what could fit in there and closing it up and kind of showing the front back, right? Posting things like that versus a still photo, right? That's in the last 6-7 months, that's blowing up, right? So just even in showcasing your direct product and how it looks on the site, little things like that make all the difference. Technology is, I don't know that I'll ever be able to keep up, right? I'm going to need a team of 1 million people to help me with that, but just to stay on the slide of it all.
She is the founder of Treppie. Jennifer Andrews joins us beyond the mic for one big question. Jennifer, how's this project changed you?
Well, it's how I became an entrepreneur. I was not really an entrepreneur before it. So it changed me from being just in my career, right? It's taught me how to be okay with having doubt in myself, going through the process of shattering the doubt, right? And coming out on the other end confident. And then I can turn it as a mom. I mean, my boys are constantly challenging me as a parent, right? And this platform is constantly challenging me. So again, to trust in myself that I know how I'm feeling, that's all I can speak to. I have to listen to how others are feeling, my sons and my Treppies, and then adjust, right? And make it work for them, not just how I feel and what I want.
With each success of each Treppie, how does that make you feel?
Oh man, it makes me feel so happy to see more girls start to trust us and excited about us, and to see how hard we're working for them, and to be excited about joining the platform. I mean, there's so much work that goes into the back end of it that I do not do alone at all. I'm propped up by so many people that I feel so grateful. I feel so overwhelmed. I feel proud. I feel scared. I feel all of it in one.
Where can people find out more about Treppie?
www.treppie.com. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Treppie Market, as well as TikTok.
When she first met her husband, she didn't want to give him her real phone number, loves teal, and wants to empower women who create with Treppie. Jennifer Andrews, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Sean, that was so fun. Thank you.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic.